In this video, we will be seeing how we can use the query variables as a part of our mutation query for delete users. In the previous video, we have seen like one of the way how we can parameterize the IDs. So in this session, let's talk about more how we can use the query variables. I think I have already talked a lot about the query variables while I was doing a simple mutation query, as well as while we are doing the insert user and the update user. So let's try to implement it by the automation for the delete part. What I will do, I will just try to copy the spec file again, just to save us some time, and we'll rename as user vars spec.js. Okay. So let's do one thing. To write the mutation query, let's switch to a web and let's remove whatever we have as of now. I want to delete a user. So let me just type in this fashion mutation, say delete users. And what it will be accepting, it will be accepting a ID of type UID. This exclamation means, right, it's like a non-null field for you. You cannot put the null values here. So now let's say where. So delete users. When we can put now where ID equal to $ID, right? Now what it will be doing, it will be returning, say ID name and say some rocket. Okay, now define our query variable, say ID let's try to delete this one. It has deleted this particular layer, right? So we'll be using exactly the same query to replicate the behavior whatever we have shown on the GraphQL playground through our automation spec file. So let's switch to the Visual Studio Code and see everything into action. So first of all, let's try to copy the same thing again and paste it here. Looks good. Now let's take the help from one of the spec file where we were just putting some data. Okay, it's fine. So let's create one variable const vars equal to all, let's say, variables. So this is a delete query, so let it be like this. So it should go as a part of this. Okay, so this query will become something like this for us. Now what we will do, we'll just copy this variable, let's paste it here. What we want ID as ID, right? So what will happen in this case, I will be sending this variable along with it. So I will say something like this: delete variables. It should be the ID that will be given to us. If you want, right, you can write the query in the same way we have written for the delete the update, which I've talked about in the last video, right? So instead of just going that, I will be just using the update query like this, because in the scope of this particular video is to talk more about the delete part, how to use the query variables for the delete query. So for this mutation query we have already seen, so I will be just reusing that. So if you want to see how we can use the variable part for the mutation of update user, you can just go like in the videos which I have discussed previously, where I was discussing more about on the mutation part for the update or the inserting part. There you can see how I'm using the query variables for both the things. So but as of now, in the insert user part, I am more focused about creating the data, and like on the delete part, I am more focused upon like deleting the data. So this particular part has been already being told as a part of the previous video, so I will just copying that data here. But for delete video, as you for the delete query, as you can see, I am using the variables. But for the mutation, I am just using this way of doing this. Now let's see if everything is done. So I think up to here we are just inserting the user. That will be pretty much clear to you. The main part is like how to delete it using the query variable. So we are just passing ID, which is the of type UUID, and then in a delete we are creating a delete variables, which at the runtime will be get replaced by these values. And let's put this in like in the double quotes. Let's try to execute now. Oh my god, what happened? Syntax error, expected name found. At what point it happened? Mutation, delete users, delete user, it's fine. Same thing we did, right? Equal, just copy pasted the same thing only. Oh, there's a issue, right? My bad. This is not a mistake I should do. Now it looks fine now. There were 2 times I put the mutation, that's the reason it happened. I don't know what happened. Kind of file, expected name. Let me copy this query again. Don't know what is happening, why it is showing the error, not getting an idea on this part. Might be some silly error that I am doing, not able to catch it. Yeah, there might be some issue with the query. So now everything looks fine, right? It has created a particular, first of all, it created like, it inserted a new user for me from this particular query with the name SAMTY. Then it deleted with the same ID, right? then it has it's shown all the user in the database, then it shows right the data does not exist for which you are just filtering the data, right? The same thing whatever we have discussed as a part of our last video. So thank you again. If you have any doubt on these videos, you can just type the questions in the chat window. Whenever I will get time, definitely will reply to your questions. But that's all from my side for this particular video. If you like my content, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys.